output shafts out. Just need a sharp tap to get the circlet to release. The box for those. That's it. That's what I'm wanting. Take the bearings off, give it a good clean, and start assembling it. All of it's in the scrap bin. Wash the water out of it. I'm just go and knock these bearings off. Prise off the case for the races. There our cage. So just slice through the inner race, trying not to damage the spigot. You just grind it thin enough and it eventually cracks right across. It releases tension and it can pop off. There you go. Not a mark on the spigot. Well, not on that side anyway. Do the same this side. So the next thing to do is take out the two screws in the back, separate the two halves, take the innards out, clean them all up, weld in a couple of plates into here to stop the oil coming out, seal up the flange, put the oil can on, fit bearings, sprocket. We'll see that in a minute or two. Right, we take the end plate off and take the internal gears out of this differential so I can get it all cleaned up and get the case modified. Tight and ratchet. For all the bits. They normally come apart quite easily. Somebody must have glued this one. No, it's not too bad. So internally there's a washer goes on the outside there, followed by the viscous coupling. This is the viscous coupling. It's got a whole series of slotted plates in here, either attached to the outer case or the inner spline, and as it tries to turn, the viscous fluid turns into a solid and locks up. It's kind of mucky, as you can see. And then there's the sun wheel of part of the differential itself. It's cast into the viscous coupling itself. In there. And inside here you can see we've got the 4 planet gears on a cross pin device. Try and get them out. Take that out. So what you have is a spacer on the end with a dish on it that the planet gears run on. It's just a bearing face, so it runs on that. 4 of those. And then there's the cross pin in the centre. Twin cross pin anyway. And then inside we have the other sun gear and another washer on the back, stuck down with the surface tension of the oil. That doesn't want to come off, but it will fall off in the bath. Yeah, it's just the oil sucking it down. And the housing itself has a set of 4 slots that the cross pins locate into. And that's the front cover. It has these 2 large holes here that in the differential itself would normally lubricate oil inside allow it to circulate around about. We don't need that. All the oil would fall out these holes, so I make up steel bushes that go in there and then braze those two in, and then we reassemble. We use a non-setting sealant on this face here to seal this flange to stop any fluid coming out, and then we slot on an aluminium can on here that seals up all the other holes. So the next thing to do is put this in a bath of cleaning fluid and clean it all up. Clean myself up first. Lovely smell that used high-point gear oil's got. A rough casting in here that I need to clean up so I can get the braze to flow in nicely. So carbide bar on my drill and just should do. Now find a bit of steel. Get a little chamfer on that side. Right. As far as I want to chance it. Down the back. I'll find that later. Greasing the two little slugs that need to braze in here. Using TIG brazing with this silicon bronze TIG brazing wire. Brazed on. Just need to dress them very slightly to keep them down to the level of the seat for the bearing, although there will be a spacer going on this side to bring the bearing out slightly. The bearings are slightly smaller than the spigot on this side. blank for the oil can cut out. I've got a little ring that will fit inside the can here. It helps when I'm clamping down on the exterior. Stops the tube collapsing. Running fairly true there, just a little bit of a wobble. You can check that with my float gauge. The tubes are never exactly totally circular, there's a bit of ovality to them. That's the lowest spot there. Sometimes I'd say that was pretty reasonable for the general roundness of the tube. Off the inside. This can vibrate quite a bit when you machine it, so I've got a dampening coil that I can put inside. It's just a piece of wire covered in foam. Actually for one of these sort of extra hand type tools. A bit. That's tight. Insert could go loose. Feels not too bad. Bar those two edges. So that's the can ready for welding. And the plate gets welded on the end there. Machine the weld off the outside, but there'll be an additional weld on the inside for the keep the strength of the can end. So I need to machine the plate from the end now. That's the blank that will go on the end. Just need to machine it down to a fit inside there. Change the jaws again. Turn down the OD of this to 99mm and then put a chamfer on the face so that I can weld it into place. Clean one side of it up with a bit of Scotch-Brite, just turn it around. So that should just push into there like that, and weld round this side, and then on this side we weld the inner edge of it for additional strength, and then just clean off the outside weld. This will get taken down a little bit to give me clearance for the bearing on this side. Cleaning down the aluminium with some solvent. It's a non-chlorinated brake and clutch cleaner. The welding rod's a bit of a clean as well, as you can see, black. Do that. Quite warm in there.